station. We are Tucson's rock station. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live from Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, May 19th. Good morning, Valdez.
Hi, Valdez.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. I got a great week of show lined up for you, and then we're counting down the days to vacay. I'm giving you a forewarning. I'm giving you 2 weeks warning. That's more than I'm giving my employer as far as warning. But this is our last full week for a few weeks because we're going into Memorial Weekend. Okay. Right. So that's a 3-day banger. Right. And then we'll have a short week, but I think an extra short week for me. Then I do a 4-day week. And then the following week I do a 3-day week. And then I'll be on the beach in Puerto Penasco. That's not how you say it.
Wow.
But you don't like my Spanish?
It was almost there, and at the end, you're just like, I give up.
Yeah. I lean into it. How do you say it?
Puerto Penasco.
God, you say it good.
Peñasco. It's almost like piña, but it's like
Peñasco. I've been seeing pictures of like Facebook friends down there and stuff. Looks like the travel back and forth through Lukeville has been no hassle, which is good. Have you been to Rocky Point?
No.
Man, it's right there. Right there. In fact, actually, we were at Desert Diamond Sayurita, and that was halfway to Rocky Point. So we might as well kept going. I know Rico's going down to Nogi to do some dentist work today. But yes, but we all make the same joke. We're like, we might as well be on the beach. We're almost there. But thank you, everyone who came out to the Meet the Chefs event yesterday. It was awesome. Tons of people came out, all the chefs representing. And the food was fantastic. Like I said, a Costco Super Sunday of samples. And not only, it was more so than I even originally planned for, right? Because we had like 11 tables of chefs slinging up some delicious food. In between, we had all these sponsors like Ray Ray's and Simply Lemonade and all these drink sponsors. So you could grab bites to eat, and then you get your little sample cups and like slam it like you're running a half marathon. So you end up catching a buzz and full. I mean, it's the opposite of a marathon, the feeling and everything, because you feel a little like weighed down. But it was great. Everybody, all the chefs had fantastic offerings. And I had a feeling it was going to come down to two. Chef Kenneth Foy from Dante's Fire, as always, because he's just a pro when it comes to these competitions. He did like 3 different types of bacon. He baconed lamb. I was like, I didn't even know you could bacon this. He's like, you can bacon anything. I'm like, oh, damn. All right.
It's like, here's bacon wrapped in bacon.
Yeah. He's like, here's an animal you didn't think could be bacon, but it's bacon, So he was baconing, all the different types of stuff and had a brilliant presentation. And I thought his game plan was very good. But Chef MacKenzie from Tanque Verde Ranch, she was on this last week, all dressed in pink. She formerly contested on Chopped. Bubbly, her personality is fantastic. And she's amazing, right? I think she's a single mom, doing the grind and all that, has an excellent backstory. And she's like, I just love French toast, right? She's like, it's one of my like go-to foods for me and my daughter. And so sure enough, she busted out a French toast with like a duck fagua.
That is a fancy word. I don't even know what that is.
I had to stop for a second and be like, did I say it right? Do I need to hit the dump button?
So
I know.
On point. I was like, damn.
Oh, well, that's good because I blacked out for a second and I was just like hoping I didn't curse. I was like, can I even say that on the radio? I don't even know. But yeah, so she had this French toast and, I was like, that's delicious and beautiful, but can it beat bacon? And the answer was, yeah, it could be bacon because she is our winner of the Meet the Chefs and she's going on Iron Chef. It was fantastic. And I was somewhat shocked, but with French toast, the thing with French toast for me that kind of gets me is sometimes it's a little like mushy. You know what I mean? Like there'll be some bites where you're just like, eh. Her French toast wasn't like that. It was consistent all the way through. And
that's funny because that's what I made for breakfast on Sunday.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah, I had these little packets of banana nut bread slices.
Yeah.
But they were super moist. So I cut them into strips and I air fried them so they got, kind of crispy and dry on the outside.
Yeah.
Then I did the egg bath and then I fried them up into French toast sticks.
Damn.
The inside was nice and soft. The outside was all crunchy.
Then where were you on Sunday? You should have been competing, Valdez. Dear Lord. You didn't even show. It was good to see everybody, with everyone that came out. There was tons of listeners that, we were taking pictures with. It was great to meet everyone out there and glad you guys had a good time as well. Now, all eyes are on Iron Chef. That's going to be happening July 26th. Between Chef Anthony from Oban and Chef MacKenzie from Tanque Verde Ranch. So we'll give you more ticket information on that and get ready as we get closer to that event. But once again, huge thank you to everyone who came out, supported the local culinary scene, and it was just great to see everybody. With that said, let's have a fantastic show today, Valdez. Morning Moron coming up. As far as listener bait, I don't know if I'll have any listener bait today, but I will figure something out. Maybe I'll just... I'll give you my blood. I don't know. Just keep listening. What do you want from me? I'll give you anything. You want to rent Valdez? I'll give you Valdez for an hour. Call number 10. Not right now.
In an hour.
That's true. Did you get that deck done?
Finally.
Nice. All right. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. All right. So great show lined up. Give us a shout if you want. But we got music on the way from Jelly Roll, kicking things off with Nirvana with your Morning Moron. Coming up next. You know the deal. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Beefigan presents. But you know the name of the show. Let's go. Oh, yeah. So we got a heavy Morning Moron here. But, yeah, start off with that Tanque Verde fact here. Because Tanque Verde's origins is what, Valdez?
So I was told Tanque Verde was named after, the street Tanque Verde was named after the actual green tank that was there. Because back in the day, way back in the day, it was all farmland.
Yeah.
And there was a gigantic green tank that would hold water. So people would use that as a landmark and say, oh, yeah, go X amount of miles until you see the big green tank, make a left or a right, whatever. And it was part of the whole Tucson thing. And then it became street when the tank was gone.
And how do you pronounce it?
Taco Verde. Taco Verde.
It's almost like Taco Verde.
Taco Verde.
Oh, that you can say.
There we go.
Yeah. There was something I couldn't say. I was trying to punch up a joke and at the end, and then Valdez is like, that's racist. I'm like, oh, should I not play it? No, I'm not going to say it.
I'll tell you off air.
Yeah, Rock 102.1 KFMA. We are live on the podcast broadcast with our good friend Yas Money. Good morning, Yas.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I know, but that's all right. We're going to wake you up with hilarity because we have a lot of funny things to get to.
Listen.
Okay.
No chat GPT, music, nothing. I will walk out of here.
I know.
I will walk out.
Don't worry. I didn't call you in just to do a chat GPT song or rap GPT is
you
what
did
we
last
call
time.
it. Well, no, yeah, but that was because it was for May memes and stuff. And that clip is actually doing really well still. And a lot of people, they applauded your look of disdain because they're like, you could tell she's pretending to hate you in the moment. And she really secretly loves it. And I was like, that's my girl. I know. Yeah.
I don't know if she knows how to pretend hate. I think it's pure.
Well, she knows how to pretend like
hate.
She knows how to pretend like. But yeah, no, your face said a million words. But don't worry. Yeah, no, it's Monday and we don't bust out AI raps on a Monday. So you're safe. But we will be talking about a lot of different things. And no rapping whatsoever. Okay. No AI whatsoever. Hell, no I whatsoever. Right?
There's a fun new game, though.
Yeah, we did do a fun new game, which you may have heard on the way in, which we could test your ability and see how mentally awake you are. So we'll cover that, plus a whole bunch more after new music from the Funeral Portrait. Here's Holy Water on Rock 102.1 KFMA, but you can join us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Also have clips that I will
join us on the podcast broadcast and annoy Yasmin.
Yeah,
all morning.
Yas Money, Yasmin Money.
So stupid.
I know. I like your shirt though. You're rocking the Amazing Spider-Man.
Thank you.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh, well, also on the podcast broadcast, I interviewed Mick Foley last week, and if you think I sound dumb. Usually, I sound extra dumb with Mick. And, it was a certain point where I could tell that he just didn't like me, which is difficult to do because Mick Foley is one of the nicest people in the world.
Wow.
Damn.
I know.
What'd you
do? A couple.
It was your face.
He called him Mike Feely.
Oh.
Nope, they didn't call him Mike Feely. I mean, obviously know what I'm talking about when it comes to WWE. And what are you mixing real quick? What was that?
Don't deter from your
no. Both Yaz and I are noticing this. And did you just say yes or no? Did you just put water into your energy drink thing to mix it up so you can get the last bit of poison from your energy drink?
That's exactly what I did.
You're a maniac, dude.
We grew up poor. You know exactly what I was doing.
I guess so. I never saw anyone in my life do that with an energy drink. That is hardcore. This guy, he's
Talk
just
about savoring every drop.
You get more bang for your buck. What kind of energy drink is that too? Because that seems like the one that would be on sale.
That's a C4.
That's a C4. Did you put that in your cart?
Yeah. Nitrous. The C4 is what they're looting in Fast and Furious 7 to go faster in these races. It's amazing that we just caught that on camera, and I'm glad. Look, it wasn't just me though, because Yas and I both had the same look. Like, wait a second, don't tell me. I mean, what would you normally people do that for?
I thought there was alcohol in there.
Yeah.
I thought that's what. But then I saw that he was mixing and taking the last swig.
I also get a fry and like scrape the cheese off the wrapper.
Yes,
you know.
And well, no, that I consider that normal. 100%. Everyone wants all that cheese and get their money's worth for sure. This was the first I ever saw someone say, "I'm going to clean out the inside of this C4 can." There's not going to be an
So this is the first time you noticed me do that?
Yeah, man. I don't think it's a healthy habit. I think
says the Vatu who drinks a gallon of iced coffee every morning.
Iced coffee, and yes, but also I gotta drink a lot of water.
That's what this one is.
I know, but you're like, I need to flavor that with C4, you know? So I understand. Look, we're not attacking you, right? I think it's more of an intervention than anything else.
It's literally nothing. We just saw you do that.
Noticed.
Okay, so welcome back to the show. We just noticed. Yeah, it was just an observation of what Valdez apparently does daily, which I've never seen before. But he comes in with a C4 energy drink or just an energy drink, usually a 16-ouncer.
Doing an oil change on his car. Comes back with a C4.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, that's not uncommon doing morning radio. I think Rico does the same thing. I used to do that to the point where, you know, my face was going numb and I had to switch to coffee. So I get it, right? You kind of get that energy in the morning. But what he did is he filled up his water bottle, and then we just noticed that he poured water into his C4 can, shook it up just to get the last remnants of C4, and then drank that very watered down last sip. And that's insane. That's not sane. It's a little odd because at that point it's the last drop and it's done.
I forgot what you were talking about, that our eyes just went, what?
Yeah. And it wasn't a purposeful distraction. A distraction nonetheless. And it's not one that I'm upset about by any means or even annoyed, but I find it so curious. And yes, I get it. I grew up poor as well. And you want to get your money's worth. I feel like you got your money's worth. But I will say this. like if you're out there and you're collecting cans for resale value, get Valdez cans. No can is more in pristine condition and probably has the best value than a can that's already pre-washed.
Absolutely.
I have to lie to my mom because she's like, when you come to visit, you bring the cans from the show, right? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I just throw them here because I'm like, bro, I'm not that hood. I'm not going to be saving botes to bring to you later.
I like how you're like, Mom, I'm not that hood. But I did wash this out to get the last sip and drop.
This is an educated woman. She graduated from the U of A and she's asking me to bring cans. Like,
well, no, that's an old school mentality of just knowing that there's value in everything. Right. And so it's like throwing away money at that point. But and your clean cans too. I mean, if I was your mom, I'd just be upset because I want your clean cans. They're like Tupperware containers at that point. You know, they're sterilized.
This has gone on for too long.
All right, you're right.
This has gone on for way too long.
I'm sorry, I was blown away by it.
Stop talking about my clean can.
Hey, on the stream, have you seen anybody pull any of that off? All right, I'll talk about the top story of the day, which is kind of shocking. But would you watch a reality television show for people all vying to be a U.S. citizen?
No.
Next.
That sounds so cruel.
Yes. Now, this was a report that this was being pitched by the producer of Duck Dynasty. In fact, actually, multiple reports said a reality-based competition show is being pitched called The American, and it would pit immigrants against each other for a chance to have the American dream of American citizenship fast-tracked. Now, the spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security has denied reports because the feedback and blowback of this was immense and swift.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that not the most American thing you've ever heard in your life at the same time? As tragically, abrasive and ridiculous as it is that not where we're at as pop culture society in this country? Everything's a stupid reality show.
It should not have even been a thought.
I know.
It
But
shouldn't.
producer of Duck Dynasty, and you're like, okay, yeah, now that checks out.
I
you know?
never even saw a single episode of that. So
Oh yeah,
whatever.
not the demo. You're not the demo. You know
No.
who is the demo?
Yeah, the people that pitched this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was the most offensive thing that you'll read this week so far.
So far.
It's only
It's barely
Monday.
Monday, bro.
I know. All right. So
I know. Tune in tomorrow.
yeah, we'll cover it. All right. Let's get into headlines while we're at it here. And not all of them are going to be that abrasive. I promise you that much. But let's see. There was a top story of, did you see the 10 inmates that all escaped from jail at the same
Oh my
time?
gosh, yes.
Yeah. All right, so this happened. I believe this was in New Orleans. Okay,
Mhm.
so 10 inmates all escaped from a jail in New Orleans on Friday, and the thing about them is they were braggadocious on their way out.
Yeah.
They taunted prison guards on their way out, and even stopped on the wall above the hole that they slipped through, and they wrote a little note. Okay,
No, they didn't.
yes, they did.
Sure did.
They wrote it wrote too easy, LOL. But in true inmate fashion, they misspelled the word "too." So instead of TOO easy, it was just TO easy. And I'm surprised they didn't put a Z up in there while they're at it, right?
I'm surprised they didn't put the two.
Yeah, the number 2 and an easy.
I thought
but
that's what you were gonna say.
no. Yeah, so they caught them, and when they were caught, right?
They were on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they got all 10 of them?
They were on Instagram Live.
I believe so. I
thought they only caught one. The one
The
that was
last I
bragging
saw,
on
they got
Instagram.
like 2, and then the 8 were still
okay. So the 8
What
or
were they
so-
there for? That they escaped?
different charges.
And it was a jail too. It wasn't prison. No, it was prison. And honestly, I'll show you the picture of their escape. Did you see the picture of their escape?
I saw the video.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
I saw the video, and I saw a tweet that was like, "Did you see the guy?"
They were bragging, but they're thinking there's like a crooked CO in the mix. Because there's no way by
Oh.
hand you could rip that latrine out like that. Like,
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's an older prison, and the way that you could see that
Valdez,
separated.
you tell us your expertise.
Yeah.
that's way too clean. Somebody snuck in some tools.
Okay, like a crowbar to pry it open.
Yeah, because there's no way. Come on. Like, I fancy myself a strong guy, but I can't do that.
Look, when you're in prison and you're doing nothing but push-ups all day, right? And you have basically a will to get free, and you get a couple people there yanking on it. It looks like it was just glued on there. There wasn't any. I guess there was some screwed in parts where the actual hole was. But yes, they did make it look pretty easy to be able to just rip that off the wall. But of course, then there's water that you would think would spray out when you rip a toilet and sink from the wall. But that wasn't the case, and they were able to escape through there.
And good thing they were thin, because there's no way I'm fitting through that hole.
Again, that's prison too. Yeah. I mean, you keep thinking to yourself, you're not going to be in prison in this situation. Inmates not going to get all the food that they want, even though there are fat inmates when they go in. But, eventually it's a good weight loss program going to prison and not being fed all the stuff you want and then just sitting there doing push-ups.
If you keep active, I've seen inmates like balloon up. They're just watching TV all the time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyways, they were able to just yank it off the wall. Looking at the picture, which you're going to see on the podcast broadcast, like I said, it does look like it's kind of like, not glued like just a super glue, but an adhesive that just kind of placed against the wall. So they're kind of able to yank it.
God, this has like private prison written all over it.
Mm,
Yeah.
I feel it's a private prison.
mm.
I got to look into that.
Yeah. All right. Well, you look into that. We'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast there. We're going to show bits of our conversation that we had with Mick Foley, WWE hardcore legend Mick Foley, on there. And I'm looking at it again. Yeah. Google it to see if it's private prison. But at this point, I think it's moot. And yeah, that was then just yanked it and somehow squeezed in through the bars in between. But again, that's like Shawshank Redemption style or Alcatraz style.
So
Super
those
simple.
COs didn't do the rounds because that's a lot of work to do that. So they obviously didn't do the rounds.
I need Radio Valdez on with me right now, not CEO Valdez, who's seriously breaking it down.
Valdez.
Yeah. He's going through all the checklists on that. And,
Come
yeah. All right. Well, you can check it out and investigate yourself. YouTube.com/beefvegan. We'll be back with more after music from Pearl Jam and Rock 102.1.
They even stopped the plumbing.
Yeah. They would have to stop the plumbing, right? Because just ripping that off, you would think that just water would just shoot out and then flood. And that would be the first sign that things are going bad. But 10 of these guys were able to sneak through. And yeah, that sign too easy with the arrow down.
Yeah, they had something prying it because you can see right there that lip is bent.
Where? On this picture?
On the previous picture.
Okay.
Like if you look up at the top of the hole right there or the metal.
Okay, this right here. Well, yes, but say, okay, it's not like a crowbar. In prison, you can get a lot of stuff in prison, right? A lot of stuff gets smuggled in. And so, yeah, you think maybe it's a guard, but, sometimes it's a way, maybe it was just red. And he was going around with, library books. And for an exchange of like 17 rollies, they were able to get a
You've never
crew
been
car.
to jail, right?
Yes, I have.
Prison?
Not prison, just jail. Yeah.
What'd you go to jail for?
Weed, marijuana. It was an ounce of marijuana. I was 17 when I got busted.
Oh, okay. So it's been a while.
It's been a while, but then they waited till I was 18, charging with a class 6 felony. And then I had to go to, for on and off for a good year. I took tours. I was in Tent City, first for weekends. Fuck that up.
You were in Tent City?
Then went into regular Tent City, then went to main jail. During that time, I learned a lot of stuff. And there was stuff. I smoked cigarettes and everything. When I was going to Tent City on the weekends, I was bringing in cigarettes. I packed it down in my shoe, was able to do that, made a ton of money that way. They were able to take one like Newport 100 and turn it into like 4 cigarettes from that. Yeah. And you could use rolling, like they're all MacGyvers in there, right? So you're like, how do you light a cigarette without a lighter? They figure out a way to like hot wire like different circuits and stuff and then use toilet paper.
So you're telling me that people in prison will survive the zombie apocalypse?
Yes.
Well, you know what? The human, where there's a will, there's a way.
Sure.
And you take away all the resources and people figure it out and they pass that information along. It's amazing.
Right.
Super impressive.
Down to the last week.
It's just funny because the guy version, they're making shivs and smoking cigs and stuff. You go to the women pod, they're making makeup and hair products. And I'm like, who are you trying to impress?
themselves.
Yeah.
To make themselves feel nice.
Yeah, to feel pretty. Remember when I told you about the Tent City divider where there was holes and guys would just hug the wall and then they had to change that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting summer. It was great. I lost so much weight though. Like summer in Tent City was the best diet ever. And I went from being like a chubby 17-year-old, 18-year-old to going into like my faux college, looking like I was like a 170. I was like,
and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do? You look so skinny." And he's like, "I went to camp. I went to fat camp.
I went to fat camp. I sweated my ass off, on the weekends there, all through the summer. So hot. So hot.
City.
Yeah. And never made a love connection. But I will say that at that age, when you're like 17, 18, I was just 18, right? So I'm juiced to the gills on testosterone, right? I'm just so horny. And there was one part where they were transferring me. You had to turn yourself into jail, and then they got to transfer you to Tent City, right? So they put you in the back of a paddy wagon, and the paddy wagon was divided in half, and one half was females, right? And the other half was males. And on the female side, there was a prostitute there who was probably,
Love at first sight.
Well, yeah. So she was so dumb. You could tell she was so stupid. And she was talking about all her, sexual exploits of what she would do for like pizza.
How long was this car ride?
It was like a 45-minute ride.
Oh,
yeah. And she's across there, but she's like in her early 20s and stuff. And I fell in love and I was so hard that whole ride. And I know she's like so stupid and she's just talking about, and also not only stupid, but also such a tragic life of like put her there. So I'm thinking of all these scenarios, but at the same time, she's like,
and that
damn
had
it.
you going.
Oh yeah. I was like, I could save her. Yeah. And I just remember her so clearly. Like, see, so she was tan. She had like a short kind of bob hair. She had a little bit of a Southern
The
accent.
one that got away.
Yeah. Because I couldn't go through the fence. Like, oh no.
Damn,
Is it really that
you
slow
never
of a
told me
news day?
about her.
Oh,
I know. It is that slow of a news day, Todd. I mean, yes, there was tornadoes that killed 40 people in Illinois. There was a ship in Brooklyn that killed 2 people.
Mhm.
Biden has prostate cancer. So, what is your definition of slow news day?
we covered all that, Todd. It's been a sad news day.
Yeah, dude.
It's
So
a slow Monday.
yeah,
It's just back
We
to
even
back.
try to make it nice by talking about the French Smurfs.
yes, and that was fun too. And actually, pull up images of that again.
Oh.
We'll share that. But in the meantime, in between time, I did talk to a WWE legend, and with that, here's a clip of that. Now it started off bad, but keep in mind, this was in the afternoon when I recorded this, and my brain is off at 10 a.m. For some of you, you will argue that my brain gets off at 9, maybe at 6. Okay, I'm stupid. All right,
Go to the supermarket and buy like
I'll tell you all
a
about
vast
that.
amount of small candy bars.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. By God, no. 40 years of Foley is, of course, a legendary run. And, I know that you've been doing your one-man shows, and it's kind of like stand-up, but also storytelling now for quite some time. And you've probably circled or went back and forth across the country at least a dozen times by now, doing stage performances and stuff.
This is I've been doing this. I started speaking to colleges in 2003, and so if you count that, I guess I have over 20 years experience, and I have seen a good deal of this country. I've worked in all 50 states over those 40 years. But when I was doing the tour 3 years ago, I hit 40 states just on that one tour. Not a performance in all 40 states, but I drove through 40 states in doing the tour.
Yeah, nice. So that's pretty much almost all the states in. Well, I guess we have 48. Which ones did you skip?
Pretty sure we have 50. You're not counting Alaska,
Well,
Hawaii.
yeah, I know, but they're not connected. You can't drive to Hawaii. Obviously, I'm an idiot.
What kind of a flag are you working off of? 1942?
Only one of us has gotten hit in the head with a chair, and right now, the people listening think I'm that guy. Now, I recently watched Dark Side of the Ring's, Hell in a Cell episode, right? And I thought, being a fan of yours and WWE, that I pretty much knew everything about behind the scenes of Hell in a Cell. Were you pleased on the way that they told that story?
Yeah, I really was. They'd been asking me for a few years, and I just kept feeling like, hasn't the story been told as many ways as it could? And they convinced me that there was another way to tell the story. I was really happy with it. The dark side of that episode was just asking fans or viewers to decide whether or not the risks were worth the consequences. But I thought it was as much inspirational as it was cautionary. Probably more.
Right. Well, now as you're an ambassador for the WWE, but of course I know that you kind of keep tab.
Hold on.
Oh, you're not?
No, there's a rumor out there that I make $2.88 million a year. And I was like, no, I think the figure I make is zero because I'm not hired as an ambassador. The only thing I have is I have the Legends deal, but that's not in the $2.88 million range. So, I just want to dispel that because I kept wondering, how do I keep ending up at the high end of these wealthiest wrestler lists when I really only had a 4-year run with WWE? And then I was like, they think I make almost $3 million a year as an ambassador, which is ludicrous that position's even out there. I think when I had it, it was like 1/15 of that range. And that was 12, 13 years ago. Don't feel bad for me, though. I'm up and down the roads. I'm loving what I'm doing. I wish I got a check for $60,000 a week in my mailbox, but It doesn't happen.
It's great that you did the math. I think that's, fans' perceived value of you, which says a lot on that 4-year run, and how much of an impact that you created, a lasting legacy like you have, more so. When you watch the current product of professional wrestling, no matter what, company, who are you most concerned about that's kind of making some, I don't know if you want to say like mistakes, but you're just like, I know that you had a lot of old school wrestlers when you were young tell you, you shouldn't be taking those bumps. You're going to feel them later.
Right.
And you did what you wanted to do anyways. So not that they would listen, but who are you just like, you kind of grimace a little bit like, ooh, I really wish they wouldn't take that bump.
Well, it's not one specific person. To me, it's one specific move. That's the German suplex. And I know I know a lot of longtime fans. You took much worse than the German suplex. I'm like, yeah, on my terms. I wasn't trusting someone to throw me backwards on the back of my head, and I just think that's one that cumulatively takes way too big of a toll. And I think the number of people who make enough money so that they don't have to worry about neck injuries is really minimal. Well, a number of people who do have to worry about them is maximal, and I just like to see that move kind of phased out over time, or immediately, one or the other.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, you were saying, and I know that you're not doing this anymore, but I did hear rumblings that you had an idea of doing like one last death match when you turned 60.
Yeah.
Why?
Sure did. Just because it was out there, just to say I did it, and I thought it would be a good a source of inspiration for losing the weight. But, I lost the weight, and then I ended up getting my head, I ended up suffering a minimal concussion about 14 months ago, training in the ring. And then I got another concussion in a car accident about 5 weeks ago. So
I saw that you terrified us as well. And it was on April Fool's Day. So I didn't know if it was an April Fool's joke, but then I'm like, well, Mick wouldn't joke about that.
That's not really in my range. That's not in my wheelhouse as far as jokes go.
Right.
Yeah. It didn't feel like a joke, at the time.
Yeah.
But at least I had the presence of mind to say to the EMT, hey, you want to get a photo of me in front of this car? So it all worked out. But hey, if you're out there listening, wear those seatbelts, because I had no doubt if it didn't save my life, it certainly kept me out of the hospital.
Yeah, well, if anyone hasn't seen the car, you could look it up, and yeah, that car was mangled. I mean, it was so bad that I honestly thought A, it was a joke, or B, it was photoshopped just to add to the urban legend of Mick Foley, saying nothing can stop this man, not even this car accident. But all right, so that was part of our conversation with Mick Foley, which I said he was nice, but there was a couple parts where he's just like, really? And I'm like, it's tough too when there was a couple mental flubs where of course I sound like an idiot, and it's insane because I made the comment saying, hey, people are going to be listening to this and be like, which one got hit in the head repeatedly with a steel chair? Not this guy. But I sound like right after that Royal Rumble match with The Rock. Our Tucson Sugar Skulls are actually doing pretty good. Did they win this weekend?
Oh man, it was a good fight. It was a lot of back and forth. Very high scoring game.
Yeah.
57-67.
Okay.
Or 57-68.
But we lost.
So we did.
Okay.
We did, but it was a really good back and forth. It was a really good game. I was yelling at the screen, and then I was yelling at them through text.
Yeah.
I was just happy we beat our rivals and screwed up their perfect record.
Oh, for sure. And they barely won this weekend too.
I saw that too.
Barely.
Yes. We're
With
back on the air. It's Rockwell 2.1. Yeah.
20 some seconds left.
Yes.
2
with
touchdowns.
Last second touchdown throw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're talking about Tucson Sugar Skulls because Yas works with the team. And what's the score? What's the record for the Sugar Skulls this season?
I think they're 3-3.
And what about the Rattlers?
They're 5-1.
5-1. So that big one was us,
Yes.
right? Which is great.
Yes.
But that also looks like, the Rattlers are yet again kind of like marching towards the potential championship, which we're doing, the Super Bowl of arena football.
Indoor
Football. I'm sorry. I keep trying to figure out what the memo says. And it's been indoor football for some years, but it was initially branded arena football.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that, though, it's the Super Bowl of indoor football is happening in Tucson.
Correct.
This year.
Mhm.
When this year, what month is it? August?
In August.
Okay, so what are some of like? Do you know what they're going to be doing? Is there any like pre-plans of what we could like look forward to yet, or is that still something that's under wraps?
I think it's still up in the air, but it's just going to be a lot of downtown presence.
Okay.
So we'll definitely, we're partnered with Rio Nuevo, and a lot of our partners are downtown. So I know that a lot of that activity is going to be centered there.
Yeah. Now, usually with the Super Bowl, of course, that's when all the celebrities come to town and stuff. Indoor football, maybe we'll go for different celebrities, but celebrities then.
Local celebrities.
We go local celebrities
Maybe
for
we'll
sure.
have like Ramon Ayala do the halftime show. It'll be
No. Okay. No, I say this level of celebrity, right? So like, okay, so we're not going to get like, Hollywood A-listers, but we could get like the guy who was like on the last season of Survivor, start sending out some invites now. Some reality TV show celebrities, get some of my challenge folk here, get some people like we talked about the kid from Jerry Maguire, Jonathan Lipnicki.
Or get Hoxitani from Orange is the New Black. She's from here.
Yes. You're talking about Taryn Manning.
There we go.
And, I feel like I could save her as well. You know who Taryn Manning is?
No.
Taryn Manning? She might have a drug problem, but I hope not. She is from Tucson now. And she just started OnlyFans. I haven't subscribed because I'm sure it's like 30, 40, $50 a month, right? But
if you go to her
30,
website,
40, 50.
Yeah,
if you go to her website, she'll send you a free autograph picture just for writing her.
that's sweet.
Yeah,
And you know that how?
because you go to her website.
'Cause
God, Yas Money, listen, bro.
He's like, because I got one.
Yeah.
It's on the wall. Did you get one now?
No, I'm going to though.
Yeah. I think we should both do that today.
I kind of want to reach out to her too and see if she'll do like a StreamYard interview.
Yeah, no, she might. I've interviewed her before when I was on KFMA, and actually when I first came down to KFMA, and I kind of failed because I did have a crush on her because she was in 8 Mile too. She was also in a Britney Spears movie, and there was several different things. But she had a group called Boom Cat with her brother, and it was like an indie electronic thing. And so I thought she was good there too. So, I was kind of a fan, and I kind of crushed on her a little bit. And so I tried to shoot my shot, but I didn't know she was from Tucson. And so she called me out on that. And so shot denied. I know. And
I think you have a good chance now.
Shocker.
No, I don't think I'm her type. I think her type is a completely different direction.
Well, listen, I'm always going to go back to that prostitute that you found at Tent City. Tent City.
Tent City. I know. She was great. Southern Belle. She's out there somewhere at a Motel 6 hooking it up for pizza. She was the one that got away.
With 3 teeth in her head.
Oh, no. She had a full smile at the time. And, who knows with dentures
That was like
and
30
everything.
some years ago, man.
Wasn't that long ago, dude. I'm not that
Oh
old.
yeah, you're like 18. Think about it.
Yeah. It's
How old
not-
are you now?
I'm 45.
45.
So 27 years ago. It was exactly 27 years ago. She dead. But but she's still alive in my heart, dude. All right, that was a fire out there for just on the podcast.
Pizza lady, if you're out there listening, hit up beef.
Yeah. Taryn Manning, I'm gonna pull up her website right now.
Oh my God.
What is it? Is it the Taryn Manning? What's the URL
Just
about
Google
this?
her. Just Google her and it'll come up.
TARYN, and that's how you spell her name, and that's how you know I'm a fan because I know how to spell it.
Wow.
I know. Here's the latest post.
She's got an OnlyFans?
She did, yeah.
She did or she does?
She does.
So what's she doing?
What's funny is that I Googled Tara Manning and discussions and forums. Tara Manning hitting rock bottom is a thread that started 4 months ago. She's been addicted for a while, unfortunately. Yeah, so you could leave Tucson, but the Tucson roots run deep. Downward spiral. You would assume that she's doing drugs, but I hope not. Maybe it's just mental health issues. Okay, so here's our website. Taryn Manning. Okay, this is like, I'm going to share this tab. She has some good pictures. All right, so this is her. You recognize her, Puxatani? Yeah. And see.
Yeah, if you go to contact.
All right, go into contact.
And right there, all you have to do is send a self-addressed stamped envelope and she'll send you an autographed picture.
Yeah, and she's just living in Palm Springs. All right. So I'm going to do that right now. Beef. Vegan.
Christ.
What? No, so she recognizes it and says, "Oh, you're the one that got away."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Weren't you in a paddy wagon way back in the day?"
Do you like pizza?
Showing love and support. Let's see. Hi, hi, Taryn. Help me write this, okay? Hi, Taryn. Exclamation point, right? I interviewed you. Interviewed
Oh
interviewed
my gosh.
you a few years back.
Your typing
on-
skills, Beef.
I know.
are not
KFMA down here in Tucson.
for those that can't see Beef's hands.
Tucson. Oh, I'm
Struggling
pecking.
to
Yeah.
type.
Well, my thing's over here. My keyboard's over here. Here, let me line it
I don't
up.
think that's why you're typing like that.
no,
Hold on. I was typing from the side here.
How many words per minute
Notice
do you think,
how
Valdez?
quiet I am because I peck also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's you know what? It's actually I was talking to my daughter and her boyfriend, right? And
Who's she got a boyfriend?
Yeah, she's had a boyfriend, but she doesn't know how to type either. The schools gave up on teaching her typing. Are they teaching typing to your daughter in school? Because she's going to be going into 4th or 5th grade.
5th.
Okay.
Oh.
Are they teaching typing?
No, they just give them a laptop.
Right. Or an iPad. So everyone's doing it
Yeah.
differently. So it's just like cursive. It's dying art form. But let me get back to my love note to Taryn. I interviewed you a few years back on KFMA down here in Tucson. Just wanted to say, what should I say without sounding creepy? We're just big fans. We're just big. Okay, hold on. Okay.
You know she can't hear you, right? You
No,
can just say it.
yeah. Well, I'm saying it to the show. We're just big fans. Big fans of our local hometown girl. Of our
Big fans,
Aaron.
very, very
Local.
big fans.
Texan.
big fans of our favorite hometown girl.
She's gonna be like, "What the is Tucson?"
Favorite home. No, she grew up here. Hometown girl, and just wanted to show you some love. We're just big fans of our favorite hometown girl, and just wanted to show some love.
Mwah. MUAH.
To show some love. Show some love. I don't. Should I go, Ma? Do you want me to go, Ma?
No.
All right, good. Should I make it weird?
No.
Texas.
Okay. All right. We're just big fans of our favorite hometown girl. Wanted to show some love. Be well. Keep up the great work.
Are we still in the air?
No. But let's see. Be well. Keep up the good work. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great work, and can't wait to see what you do next. That's optimistic.
Yeah.
Love you.
And then throw it in there. If you want to promote it, hit us up.
Oh no! So, that's not how I work. She's gonna slide back, and then when about the third correspondence is when I start saying, so let's get you on the show. Let's talk about it. Let's see. Be well, keep up the great work, and can't wait to see what you do next.
That's a good idea. Copy the link to the show so she can watch you type the email.
I can't wait to.
Great idea. Good job.
Can't wait to
Darlene.
see what you're up to next. See what you do next.
And then she's gonna watch him say
see.
like
You know what's-
drug addictions and mental health.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I'm gonna do my rock hands here. Boom. There we go. Boop.
And then you just got to decide where you want to send it.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm just gonna do submit.
Because right here, recipient, you could either choose fan club, management, brand management, press, social media, booking, or other.
You hit submit. I'm gonna do submit.
Oh, well, right here, recipient.
Oh shit. Problem with your submission. Okay, yeah, right. Recipient where? Please provide your human by selecting a truck. Okay. Truck.
Did you change the recipient?
Oh no. There you go.
You're so stupid.
Oh no, it did it. It did it. Thanks for contacting Team Taryn. Yeah. All right. I don't know what you guys did today, but that's what I did. And already Well, you mean sounds a bit creepy. I was shooting my shot. She's not going to see that. Todd, so pessimistic, man.
Thanks for all the positivity, everybody. We love it.
Well, I mean, are we getting? Do you think Taryn Manning's at a point in her career where she's getting thousands of fan emails a day? Probably not. I think
Maybe at least hundreds, but not thousands.
Even hundreds, maybe not even hundreds. I mean, what's her Instagram at right now? Let's see. Pull that up here because I follow it.
Let's see if we show that we're fans of hers at her lowest point. When she comes back up again, she'll remember that.
That's right. That is very optimistic that she'll come back up. If things go well.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. had a second chance.
That is true. Oh, she has 1 million followers. Damn.
Well, because of the meltdowns she's been having lately.
Well, yeah, but Orange is the New Black too, because she's Puxatawny. So she's Tucson. She's born and raised Tucson girl. This is her thirst trap for OnlyFans. Right? She got that Puxatawny look. What is she vaping? I don't know what that is.
Bro, keeping a vape in your mouth with no hands is crazy.
Yeah. She's like, I can do a lot of things with no hands. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Puxatawny. Taryn, and this is her geeking out at Coachella. Look at that outfit there.
I thought she was on rollerblades.
We're watching in real time him fall in love.
I know.
No. I already saw this. So I fell in love a while ago, but only because I could save her.
If she had 3 kids from 2 different dudes, like he would just be all up on that.
That sounds like projecting. Well, that's that sounds like some. I think you would fall in love. What was the last girl you dated? How many kids you have?
0.
Oh, really?
And in her defense, she was 26. So, I mean,
26.
This guy, you look at that. Look at that nice little flex. That was smooth. In her defense.
I mean, because you're
like, what's wrong with her? She has no kids. No, there's no defense needed.
Because it's hard in Latino culture. Like once you're 18, you already have 2 kids. So
dude, I was trying to say that. And you said it was too racist.
Yeah, because it's coming from you.
Well, it's still an obvious. So, do you know there's a Latino like Tinder? No, legitimately, he told me about it today. Mm-hmm. What's it called again? You know about this or no?
I don't do that, so I don't know any of it.
Right. So you never heard of this? No. Yeah. I mean, yes. I'm not saying that you did. Yeah.
I don't do dating apps.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They're even worse now because of AI and all the scammers. So you don't even know. It's not even about getting catfish anymore.
Live vicariously through my friends.
Yeah, exactly. Which ones are on it? And let them know I said hi. What was the name of that one again?
Cheese Puss.
Cheese Puss.
Cheese Puss.
Which means, see, she's fluent. But yeah, so I never heard of this. Did it seem like there wasn't that many people on it because it's like not well known?
Advertised.
Yeah.
I was on there a month and I was like, this is too much. It was a lot of the chicks I already dated. I'm like, why am I gonna relive these seasons again?
So were you rematching with them?
Nah.
Oh. Because I mean that's a good like referral. I'm like, yeah, I dated this guy already.
Like
I'll swipe right.
But it was weird. I met them in real world. Like I hit on them in real. We dated. Like, and then now it's on an app, and I was like, man.
Yeah, I tried asking a question earlier today that because this happens in small towns. If you ever match with somebody online, right, but then don't go meet them in real life, but then run into them in real life, that's actually happened to me. It's crazy too because I kind of recall like faces and little conversations I have where it's like there was one girl, I think her name was Dana or something like that, or Danica, something like that, started with a D, and I matched with her years ago, like when I first came down, and then we chatted back and forth a little bit, but then that was pretty much it. And then I would see her popping up on, whenever I go on and curious, I would see her pop up again, but that was it. We never hung out. It never got romantic or nothing. And I remember I was on like a date for the holiday party for Tucson Foodie. So I was
Paddy Wagon? No, I'm just kidding.
No. So I was at
He's
Jack.
never gonna let that go. That story's gonna live.
I know.
In there forever.
Yeah. I got more jail stories for sure. But I was on date. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back, Beef Vegan Presents. So I was talking about how like if you ever match with somebody online, like a dating site, but don't meet them in real life, but then see them later on in real life because you bump into them because Tucson's such a small town. And I was talking about this girl that I matched with years prior. But I did remember her just from matching and having conversations, but it never really got too far. And then I saw her at the Jackrabbit Lounge for a holiday party when I was with another woman. And I remember feeling a little awkward about it. Almost like it was like, oh no, or she's judging, or it's like, did I get busted? But I'm like, wait a second, I never dated this woman in my life. I know a little bit about her because we chatted. And she is a real person that I could see for the very first time. So I thought that was interesting. Somebody's calling. Maybe they had a similar experience. Rock 102.1, who's this?
What's up, BB?
Oh, no, Donovan, now's not the best time, but it's great to hear your voice.
Okay.
Thanks, Donovan. I'll talk to you soon. He's like, what's up, Beefy? I'm like, that's not the woman I was talking about.
I was like, maybe she's calling.
Yeah. Yas, have you ever had like a Tamagotchi growing up? Were you one of those girls who had the Tamagotchi? It seems like you would.
I had a Tamagotchi. I had a Gigapet. I had all of it.
I
had a godmother that definitely spoiled me with all of the new toys in the 90s.
Were you good at like keeping it alive?
Yeah.
Okay, so responsible.
Yeah.
Well,
which is why my daughter's still alive. I prepared. I was a parent young. I was a young parent.
Do you think your or your godmother like kind of felt like she helped you become a good mom, or also like kicked herself in the butt, being like, oh, this is why she had a kid so young? You weren't that young, by the way.
I was 24.
Yeah, that's a good age.
No, I mean, I didn't think about that until I got Brooklyn a Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
I was like, oh. A mother.
Yeah,
a young mother.
Exactly.
I was like, no, I remember getting her one and telling my friends, I'm a grandma.
Yeah. See, I was never good at those. My Tamagotchi would die almost immediately.
Oh, let me tell you. I don't know what I reacted to when mine died when I was a kid, but when Brooklyn's died,
Did you cry?
She had a terrible time.
Yeah.
It was a terrible time.
Can you bring them back to life after they die?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do it again.
Okay. Well, because there's a 90s style Tamagotchi, but with the Peanuts characters that's going to go on sale in Japan. So Peanuts like Charlie Brown and Snoopy, but fans are worried about having to keep Snoopy alive. So now if you have like an emotional attachment to these characters, it's even more so. It's like, wah, wah.
You ever gone to AMC? AMC has like when you buy at the concession stand, they have like a bunch of little gifts and stuff. And they have like Tamagotchis that are like Harry Potter. Like you have the owl, or like there's like another cartoon, but like you can buy different Tamagotchis, like different characters already. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't know this was a thing. So is there any Tamagotchi that you wouldn't buy because you're too emotionally attached to the fictional characters?
It'd have to be like something like Adventure Time, which is something that I would only know, like it's something that I have an attachment to.
What about you, Valdez?
I never had any of those toys. When I was a senior in high school, I took the class where they gave you the baby, that doll.
Yeah.
And it cried and you had to like do stuff. I was like, this sucks. I'm never having a kid.
All right. Well, how about this? What if it's a Tamagotchi? So you have to have a Tamagotchi, but it's all like Hall of Fame Dallas Cowboys players like Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman.
So
basically,
how do I do that? Just give them
alive.
cocaine and hookers? I'm like, here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I wish I did animations because it'd be like the perfect, just huddle up all those players and then have like the 4 cocaine, alcohol, prostitutes, bathrooms.
Yeah, that's the Tamagotchi for the 90s Cowboys.
And then on the bottom, their stats, their sleepy time.
Yes.
To, like,
playtime. They all play catch with each other.
You've kept him alive 30 days. He gets a contract extension. You're like, yay.
Yeah. You evaded arrest to get another. Yeah. I mean, all these. Somebody needs to create that right now.
Valdez, you've been hired by the team.
Your Michael Irvin has OD'd. I'm like, damn it.
No, not again.
No.
All right. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Back with the beef tip right after these words. Rockman 2.1.
No.
That's a great idea, actually. That really is solid. All right. Audio sounds okay. Uh-oh, what happened now? Is it because of Taryn Manning's movements?
The GVA 5 app where you could take the shots.
Read it out loud. What happened?
Oh, Todd with his toddery.
Yeah, what's Todd saying? I'll look at Taryn while you talk, Todd.
He said, did you do the GTA 5 app where you could take what? You could take our olive chops. That is a Tamagotchi. What? Sorry.
He's not understanding it.
It's not me. It's his typing.
So Taryn's had, better days. Oh, that was her vagina. She was doing some live streams and quoting the Bible a lot. That's when I knew that she was on drugs. And I hope that she's not anymore, you know? So, but she's Tucson, tried and true. And
What did she go viral for recently? She went crazy.
yeah, she went crazy. And I think that's part of the Reddit thread that we saw.
I guess she had a drunken rant, right?
I don't know how
and
to
it was
read
in her
Reddit.
car, so people were like, "Oh, she was obviously
Oh,
driving
that's
drunk."
what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, take care of chops. Okay, so they did that for GTA 5. Okay. So you could have Tamagotchi GTA 5 and take care of
Oh,
the
that's
dog
right.
Chops. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rottweiler that you.
Yeah,
Adopt.
Franklin's dog. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, Chops.
I always forget about him. There's like so much doo doo there. I'm like, oh.
I actually played a little bit of GTA 5 this weekend. The eventful weekend I had.
Wow.
I know, dude. I know. It's sad and lonely. In fact, actually, I did get booty called on Saturday night at like 9:30. No. Okay, it was probably I don't know what time it was. I'm gonna look at it right now.
You can literally just lie.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
You can literally just make up.
Okay, so it was Saturday night at 11:17.
Oh no, girl, that's late.
Yeah, well, I decided just to smoke, play video games. I was in bed by like 9:30 on Saturday. It's super sad, depressing to say the least. I was gonna do brews at the zoos if this girl would have hit me up.
Oh, I
know.
forgot about Brew at the Zoo.
I know, right?
I'm so sad.
So I was gonna go, and thank you for saying I look good. It didn't matter for my booty calls, but so I was gonna do brew at the zoo with this girl that I've seen before, right? And so that would have been fun, but she didn't hit me up, and so I'm like, oh, she's doing other things. I'm just gonna get stoned and play
Wait, you
video games.
invited her to Brew at the Zoo?
Not necessarily. It was a loose invite. It wasn't legit. Like
Honestly,
let's do this.
if somebody invites me, if someone says, "Hey, Brew at the Zoo is this weekend," I'd be like, "Say less."
Right. Well, that's why we should have been together. But no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I made it awkward because that face is just like, let me continue with this story. So, anyways, this girl didn't hit me up until like 11 with I was just kidding. I'm not trying to Mac. So she hit me up with the high with 4 eyes
Oh, okay.
at 11:17. You know
Was
what
she
that
drunk?
means.
She was drunk.
Yeah, she was drunk. But then I woke up. I was in bed. I fell asleep. I woke up to the text. I look at the text.
Did you write back?
No. And I didn't even open it. So I left it unread. I was like, no, sorry. I'm sleeping now at 11 o'clock on a Saturday. Super depressing.
I mean, honestly, last night, if Brooklyn had been dropped off, I would have passed out by 7:30.
Yeah.
I was ready to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Valdez was in bed by 5 because he was going to come out to meet the chefs, but instead he decided to nap with his puppy. How was the puppy doing?
Yeah.
He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
Saturday we stayed up super late.
Him and his puppy. So he's just dadding right now. Yeah.
The real life
Well,
Tamagotchi over here.
yeah.
I was texting with somebody. I was like, just come over and hang out with us. And she's like, meh. So later on, I think it was like 10:30. The young girl was like, roommates are out of town. Do you want to come over? I was like, sure. Can I bring my dog? She's like, yes. And we just ended up having to sleep over, and she loves the puppy. And yeah, that's why Sunday I was tired.
Did you see the hand thing? Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I get it. So if this girl would have came over, we would have like laid in bed and watched TV.
For sure.
Yeah, and then we just would have went to sleep next to each other.
You know who
Nothing to see
didn't? You
here.
know who didn't? This weekend, me.
Oh, yeah, no, it happens. Neither did I. I'm on a streak. I'm on a streak. So, but yeah, that was my Saturday night in a nutshell. But then Sunday we went to the casino, which was super fun. And Lizzie said her husband and her, what we will get from the wheel and the casino, I guess, right? You could pick a weed strain for the night. What? I tried to read that right. All right.
That's okay. I didn't understand either.
Yeah. That was probably a typo in there. But
Yeah.
yes, thank you for saying that 11 a.m. was late as fuck. It wouldn't have been if I just would have went out 11 p.m. Wouldn't have been too late, but for whatever reason, it was. And that's fine. I didn't need to have like amazing. You know what I mean?
Amazing patty cake.
Yeah, whatever, We're just going to allude to it without actually doing it. Our beef, damn. Hold on, I'm just gonna cut this song off because it's foods that should never be reheated in a microwave. People need to know this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I need to know now. I hate microwaves.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. I got to cut off this song because I've got to get into a beef tip and we're running out of time, but I got foods that should never be reheated in the microwave. What would you consider a food that should never be reheated in a microwave, Yas Money?
Beef vegan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm edible, don't put me in a microwave, please. But I hear I taste delicious. All right. So, yes. Here are 5 foods that should never be reheated in a microwave. First off, they say hard-boiled eggs. But if you microwave a hard-boiled egg.
What the hell's wrong with you?
They explode.
Well, yes. And you're a psycho. They're already cooked, bro.
Yeah.
Eat them cold. It's hard-boiled. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. All right. They say chicken. You should not microwave chicken. Food safety wise, reheating chicken is safe, but it won't be yummy. The moisture evaporates, leaving the chicken with a weird taste and texture. Also, foods that are rich in vitamin C, like broccoli, bell peppers, berries, leafy greens. So if you think you're eating healthy and you get like one of those pre-made dishes, which I was going to sign up for and get all this healthy stuff. But if I microwave it, it's going to basically zap the vitamin C. And there is no nutrition in there. That's why you get the diarrhea. All right. Seafood, guaranteed to dry it out. All right. And a steak. If you microwave steak, you're also a psychopath, right?
I would have thought French fries. Fries are number one, don't reheat well in the microwave.
Well, because they don't taste well. But, besides that.
This isn't a won't taste well. It's a don't do it.
That's true. Yeah, just don't do it. And that's our beef tip. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening. Drive safe, ride safe, and rock local. What did we talk about today? Did we talk about anything? I love that you came in, though. It's always a pleasure hanging out. Want to hang out for a couple more minutes? You in a rush?
Paddy wagon.
Paddy wagon. Let me tell you some paddy wagon